good?
Are we ready? Oh, shit, okay. My bad. Nice outtake, though. We can keep that. In the big inning, there was baseball. It is Wednesday, March 4th, I believe. And I'm CJ, and you're watching 27 Down. You can catch me on Twitter at CJ in Pinstripes. This is Evan. You can catch him at Evan D. Wetzel 4 on Twitter. How are we doing?
We're all right. This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. Before we get into it, I want to make a quick announcement. We are working with Darren, who is at Yankees Report, with his new website that just came out. It's an awesome website. It's called grunttalksmlb.com. He'll be showing our content on it, along with his own content and content from other people from Twitter. So go check out that website. It's pretty cool.
Sounds pretty awesome. I need to remind everyone that Evan loves a big old pair of honkin' Hooters. Now, we are back in the thick of things. And by the thick of things, I mean it's not that thick. It's just spring training. But, man, woo! I got to tell you, it feels great. I was out grocery shopping at the Trader Joe's in Larchmont.
It's the best.
And I was driving home like a madman because it was day one of spring training. Yeah. I got home at like 1:03, sat down, watched the first pitch, and after the first pitch went, I let out a big old woo! Like I was Ric Flair, man. Yep. What a great feeling to see that first pitch. And by the way, that was J. Happ. So that's the first time I've been happy with seeing J. Happ throw a pitch in a Yankees uniform.
It's a little interesting with all the injuries who we're going to see. I'm actually quite excited for the young guns that are coming up. I think Michael King has some really promise. I also love the stuff that we're seeing from Clark Schmidt.
He should legally, Michael King, change his name to Michael K.
That would be hilarious.
That would instantly become Michael K's favorite player.
I think so, definitely, yeah, 100%. And the two things that I like about them, let's just talk about those two guys real quick. One, with Michael King, he's straight command is unbelievable. I think he has a very good two-seamer and a changeup and can move that around the plate, whereas Clark Schmidt is more of a very hard-throwing slider pitcher.
Yeah, his stuff is nasty.
He gets a lot of ground ball outs, I think. So I'm excited for both of them to come up.
That's what the Yankees should get, right? They should be targeting players that can keep the ball on the ground because Yankee Stadium doesn't exactly keep the ball in the park.
They also love hard throwers, though, which those are the ones who get the injuries, it seems. So,
what's your favorite thing about having spring training back? Like, what's the one thing you think every single year, like, this is what's great?
Oh, it just warms me up for baseball. I get so excited when we're done with the winter. It's clear that all the moves are done, and you start to see all the players get back and warmed up, ready to go for the season. So I know they've moved the season a little earlier each year, which I love. I love that it's going to be March 26th opening day. So that's 2.5, 3 weeks away. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it really is that feeling of having the boys of summer back, man. To see them back on TV again, just throwing and hitting and slapping each other's butts. That's another great part. However, I just happen to love, it's just the first taste of the game again. Yeah. Just to have that back. I mean, baseball has a pretty ridiculously short offseason. I mean, football fans wait around forever to get their sport back. And when it is back, like, who cares about preseason football?
Right, and I also think in, like, NBA and NFL, the offseason are kind of condensed really quickly, which is fun. You get all the news really fast.
Yeah.
But with baseball, we're talking about it for 3 or 4 months in the offseason like it's the season because of how far it stretches out. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's really fun. This winter was a good one.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Now, what about something about spring training being back that you're like, I got to deal with this again?
Still waiting on the Red Sox news. Pretty sick of Manfred. That type of nonsense.
We'll get to that.
Right.
Trust me. I'm talking about like year in and year out.
Nothing's really bothering me yet. So let's hear your answer. Maybe I can expand on it.
I have a couple. So I hate the reactionary fan, right? So you hear him a lot, right? You hear him even during the regular season. But, man, there is just something about not having baseball for a while that those fans, when something happens, in either direction, it's either, oh, my God, this is the worst thing in the world, or, whoa, this is amazing. And really, it's just like, well, you don't know that. So
100%.
Here's some examples. A pitcher goes out there and has a terrible outing. So let's say, for example, I don't know, let's say Garrett Cole. Let's say Garrett Cole was to go out there and just have a clunker of an outing in spring training. Here's the problem with reading too far into that. It's spring training. Yeah. Do you know what people do in spring training? Sometimes they toy around with new things, or sometimes they're just
new grips.
Yep,
new
they're
rotation,
they're just trying to get warmed up for the season. They don't exactly have all their stuff. Just because something happens in spring training doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to kind of translate into the regular season. And again, that goes in the opposite direction too. Yep. So a pitcher goes out there and has an awesome outing, and everyone's like, why isn't he going to make the opening day team? So the real reason is because he's throwing against AA guys. And guys who are also tinkering with their swing, by the way. It's not just pitchers who tinker.
And that's funny. That brings me to one point, and then I'll let you get back to yours. Chris Davis, for example, right now is batting 300-something with like 3 or 4 home runs. So did Greg Bird a couple years ago. He's the king of the Grapefruit League, or MVP or whatever.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall, yeah.
Although I think this year he's really laying an egg.
He's 0 for 18.
Oh, my goodness.
With a couple strikeouts.
He needs to retire. He needs to retire from Grapefruit League. He's been doing it for too many years, and now it's
caught up with that.
Everyone needs to go off into the sunset. It's just a matter of when.
You know what's actually really funny? There was a Yankees fan who was his Twitter account is the Greg Bird fan account.
Oh, yeah. I've seen
Greg Bird went to Texas, so this guy's like, fuck Yankees, I'm going to Texas, and now he just does Greg Bird in Texas. It's hilarious.
He's obviously kidding around. At least I hope he is, because if he's not, I will shove a shoe up his wiener hole. I don't have, and I mean, that's really the only part of spring training, although I will say that I also have some things that could make spring training a little more exciting. Baseball with spikes on it. Hear me out. So if the baseball has spikes on it, now a couple things. Hit by pitches, super exciting. Line drives back up the middle towards the pitcher. Whoa, look out. The fielders
up 35%.
The fielders now have to throw this spiky ball. Now, when I say spiky, I'm not talking about Mortal Kombat style spikes, okay? Not like you touch them and it slices through your hand. No, I'm talking about shorter, fatter, not as sharp, but still, it hurts to throw. Another thing that I would change, strippers. There should be strippers on the field. And they have to, like, each team will have its own set of strippers, right? So the Yankees strippers have to kind of distract the fielders from the opposite team. Only for spring training. I wouldn't want any of this in regular season. So just imagine, like, JD. The stripper shows the tits. He runs up. He squeezes them, like he does.
Sport. I stopped listening after Spike Ball.
And then finally, I got one last one. Alligators. I think there should be a moat with alligators. Now, it should be
around the baseline.
No, shut up. It should be in between the outfield. So if I can draw you all a diagram for those who for those of you who are maybe watching on YouTube, I made one of the bases a triangle. Whoops, what are you going to do? You would have.
He's an artist now. Jesus Christ.
You would have a moat kind of like this. Okay, so there would be it would be like an infield with infield grass. Then over here, that's the water. Okay, I want there to be alligators or I think crocodiles. Those are the actual dangerous ones. So you would have crocodiles in there, and then the outfielders over here. So does that infielder need to track down the ball? Yeah. Does that infielder now need to swim into a pool of crocodiles? You bet your ass. And hey, what are you gonna say, man? Someone gets bit. That's just good fun. Any ideas from you? No.
Get a new co-host.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Cool. I mean, we can't all be creative. Speaking
creative.
Speaking of spring training being back, we talked about The Office on the way here.
Yeah, it's my favorite show.
Is this kind of like the scene where Michael promises everyone a surprise, and at the end he's like, "Nope, there's a surprise coming. Nope, you just wait." Is Rob Manfred just going, "Nope, there's totally gonna be a decision made on the Red Sox. Just you wait, it's coming for sure."
That's exactly what it's gonna. We're never gonna hear about this again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's waiting for.
He's not even investigating people. He's probably sitting in his office playing with sticky pads.
Right, he's probably playing pickup sticks with butt cheeks.
Yeah, that too.
I think. I mean, what else could be happening? Like, how many people does he need to talk to? Because the Astros thing, yeah, that took a while, but that was the first time around this thing ever happened. And like now, they keep pushing back the date, and we're not getting an explanation.
There isn't even a date anymore. There's no date. They just said at the end of the week we're gonna let you know, and it's been the end of the week 6 times.
It's been several ends of several weeks. Can we have a decision?
Jesus Christ, man, poopies! I hate him so much.
Why must you say man poopies?
That's why.
Why must you say man poopies?
Why are you talking about alligator moats on a baseball field?
It's not. I don't know.
It's like a Mets fucking idea.
Is it technically a moat? I use the word moat, but I don't know if that's considered a moat.
Yeah,
because a moat encircles something. This
true.
wouldn't encircle anything.
Right.
I think it's just a little pond. Anyway.
No, but a pond isn't okay.
Well, whatever. Who cares? Yeah, we're waiting. Tick tock, tick tock. I want to know what's going to happen.
No, we seriously need to answer on this one, because if there's going to be a punishment, we need to know, one. If there's not, let us know so we can move on. But it seems like you didn't even finish, the Houston thing.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's done with that.
I like to think that this isn't just him getting cold feet, and this isn't just him, hating all of the outrage that has happened over the Astros thing. Maybe he's just afraid to give out a punishment at this point. I truly don't know.
If that's the case, then he needs to resign, because that is your job, and it's a joke that we've gotten through spring training. People are still pissed off, and he thinks the season's going to start and we're going to act civil about it. We're not. People aren't going to act civil about this. There are going to be crazy drunk fans who act out of control, and he's going to blame them instead of understanding that he could have handled this in a much better way. If you took away 2017, guess what? The hostility goes away too. You don't want it to, because you want to make money off this shit. That's why it's still here.
Yeah, which is why I'm going to try to keep my mind in, he's a commissioner of baseball. He has to make hard decisions. He's going to do the right thing, or at least try to do the thing that he thinks is the right thing, and he's not just putting this off. There's got to be something holding it up each time. What if he's behind it? And he has yet to give himself an alibi.
I don't know. I don't trust him at all. I have a hard time trusting the Red Sox too.
It's kind of like in The Big Lebowski, where Lebowski ends up being the person behind all of the kidnapping in the beginning. Like, wow, who the hell saw that coming? Maybe he's the one. Maybe he's Big Lebowski. Not the dude, but maybe he's Lebowski.
Got it. That was great.
Someone's injured.
Severino?
Well, yeah.
Judge?
But, yeah.
Oh, Stanton?
Stanton, that's the one I was going for. Severino we kind of saw coming, though.
Yeah, and I think Chris Sale of the Red Sox might need Tommy John, even though he's seen 3 people, they all say yes, and he's like, I think I'm going to see a 4th person. I'm not sure.
I love it, and I hope he tries to rehab. He is a psycho. He is an absolute psycho.
Yep.
He cuts up jerseys that he doesn't like, and he gets teams up with Adam LaRoche
right.
in the whole Sun
It was
thing.
even funnier. 2 years ago in Yankee Stadium, he faced off against Sonny Gray, who gave up a grand slam in the first inning to Mookie, I think. Right. And so Sonny was all distraught after the game. Well, last year, Chris Sale did the same damn thing to us at Yankee Stadium and got booed off the mound when he got taken out in the 3rd and 1/2 inning, and was cursing at Yankees fans and acting like a little child.
Gesturing towards
right,
them
giving us the
obscenely.
finger and stuff because he couldn't handle the fact that he sucked balls. Happens. Yeah. New York's not for everyone.
Yeah, he's trash now. I mean, that's one of the bigger things that got Dombrowski in trouble was that deal. Yeah. And it's one of the reasons why they weren't able to hang on to Mookie.
Right. Or Price. Price became expensive too. Yeah. And
Price kind of sucked.
One of the funny other things is that I thought J.D. Martinez was going to opt out. I guess it was smart that he didn't because the market for outfielders was not that great. So he opted in, which meant that they weren't going to afford Mookie anymore. Well, then J.D. came out on Twitter and complained about Mookie leaving. It's your fault.
Yeah, you should have left so that he could have stayed. Wait, then you're not his teammate anymore. This is really... He should have opted out. This is what he should have done. Opt out and take a smaller deal.
Yeah. What a selfish piece of shit.
$500,000.
Stupid asshole. That's what you don't care about the Red Sox, the city, or your friend Mookie.
Yeah. You don't have any family, you don't have any friends, and you don't have any land. Stanton, okay, so this has been a big argument on Twitter if you are a fan of the New York Yankees. So here we are once again. In my opinion, we have a bunch of reactionary people. And you're going to disagree with this, but hey, everybody, can we get pissed at Stanton? Maybe, how does this sound? So he's gotten a few injuries that have made him miss a significant amount of time. Shut up!
6.
That have made him miss, I said that have made him miss a significant amount of time. So if we're talking about just a small DL stint that kept him out for a week and a half, that's going to happen to anybody. That's going to happen to anybody. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're right, but the...
Okay, hold on. I wasn't done. Let me finish the thought. Got to finish the thought. Now, I will say this. He's had a couple that have kept him on the shelf for a long time, weeks at a time, sometimes months at a time. Frustrating as hell. And I am this close to giving up on the guy. But I'll tell you what. I'll give up on him when he has another major injury. Not one that's going to keep him out for a couple of weeks of the regular season. Come on, people. This is going to happen to everyone. You may.
For 2 years in a row? For 2 years in a row. We got a guy who is the MVP, who a lot of people, not me, expected him to come in here and hit 59 home runs. Those are... I'm still speaking. That's unacceptable expectations. That's not my point. But the fact of the matter is, we see him play for one season. He has 6 injuries. We saw him play, 20 games last year? That's about the same as Severino. These are our 2 stars who we're supposed to see a lot. And we gave up nothing to get him. I thought it was a good trade at the time. I still think it's a good trade. But you just said you're close to giving up on him. I'm pretty much already there because we've seen, like I said, 6 injuries, and it's getting to the point where I don't want to see him in the offseason working on things that he's already skilled at. Why are you hitting a tire with a hammer and working on your strength when you're already a fucking giant? People who are 6'7" break down more than people who are 6'3", who work out in a different way. Maybe he needs to reevaluate how he's working out so that he can be prepared for the season.
You have no idea how he works out. You don't know what kind of conditioning he does.
I've seen the videos that he posts. Maybe
okay.
He can post videos then.
You've seen a video of him hitting a tire with a hammer. Does that mean you know his regimen?
Lifting some female.
Does that mean you know how he works out? Does that mean... No, I don't. Neither of us do. That's the point I'm trying to make. So making a comment about how he works out that makes no sense. You don't know how he works out. You don't know how he works out.
I don't need to know how he works out.
Yes, you do. If you're going to comment about how he works out, you have to know how he works out.
Okay, so you work out with your fucking arms to work on your hamstrings and shit?
No.
No. So why isn't he working on those? I want to see him stretching more.
They're 2 separate skill sets.
If I saw a video of him stretching more, I would probably calm down a little bit.
Nobody gives a fuck about someone stretching. Nobody wants to see videos of someone stretching. You really want to see this dude do a butterfly pose? Nobody gives a fuck about those videos. He's posting the video of him.
You know what I want to see?
He's posting the video of him hitting a tire with a hammer. You know why? Because it looks fucking cool. That's why
it looks fucking awesome. Is he playing right now?
No, but that's completely irrelevant. It's got nothing to do with it.
We don't even know how significant this injury is because it seems like they always give us a fake timetable and then it's longer than it was. We saw it with Judge last year. We saw it with him as well. I need to see this guy play.
Okay,
why, for the first 8 years of his career, he had no issues and he comes here and we have had 2 years of these types of issues. And you're telling me it's not because of the staff or how players are working out or doing this?
Maybe the staff. Staff.
Okay, there's a problem here.
So what does that have to do with him?
It has to do with everyone on the team.
Okay, but what we're talking about right now is frustration at Stanton. So if your frustration at the team, cool, I got you. And let me clarify once again. If this injury ends up being something where he misses a buttload of time, I'm done with the guy. He's at death's door to me, all right? The bottom line is, if all he does is miss a little bit of time, something that can happen to anybody, who cares?
If he comes back, he needs to come back ready, and I need to not see him get injured again on the same similar situation. He came back last year. We were all excited, and then he did a wild slide in the third, broke his fucking knee or whatever, and was out the rest of the season. Okay? If that happens again, like you said, you're going to be done with him. I'm already pretty much there.
I just think it's silly to give a guy so much shit who's so good at hitting.
He's unbelievable. I want to see that.
Damn good.
That's why I'm pissed. I want to see him be that unbelievable. And I'm not as reactionary as the people on Twitter because I didn't have the expectations that he and Judge were going to be able to do 50 a season. But we've seen him do 37. I want to at least see him be able to hit 260, 35 to 40 home runs and 100 RBIs every year. Is that too much to ask for the amount of money that he gets?
If I were to go out there and find you a list of players that have had amazing seasons and then 2 very injury-prone lost seasons followed by some more amazing seasons, that would be a rather large list. I think I'd be able to find a lot of players like that.
Would too.
So to give up on the guy...
I'm closer along on that route than you are, but I like him, but I don't like him, and I'm frustrated, and I want to see the guy play because those numbers are unbelievable when they're there.
Also, the amount of money couldn't be more irrelevant to me. It's not my fucking money. It's not your money. It's the Yankees' money.
Right,
they can afford it.
Yes, they can, but it takes away from other positions of needs in the future.
I think that's bullshit.
I don't think it is.
I
would rather he be off the books and we have Trevor Bauer.
But the Yankees are currently planning, and this is what a lot of people don't get, that when a player has opt-outs, the team plans for the future as if those opt-outs don't exist.
Correct.
So the Yankees already have a plan to keep their important players with Giancarlo Stanton on the team. They already have a plan for the case where he doesn't opt out, which it's looking like he probably won't.
There's no reason for him to.
Yeah, I mean, but if he goes out there and has another monster season and hits 60 home runs, if this whole injury thing really is a couple of nasty bad luck blips and he goes out there and has an amazing season, hell yeah, he'll opt out, and hell yeah, someone will pay him more than what the rest of his contract was going to give him.
I think that teams are being more wise in the market about spending that level of money on someone of that size and the age that he would be.
Really? Because Miguel Cabrera got a deal like that.
Yeah, and it was dumb, and I don't think teams are going to do that shit anymore. I don't think they're going to do what they did with Pujols either. That's not smart. You shouldn't be paying for what the player did. You should be paying for what you think they're going to do in the future or some balance of the two.
And I mean, the same thing can be said, although Bryce Harper's not a big-bodied outfielder, there were a lot of people who were like, yeah, Bryce isn't going to get that kind of money.
He shouldn't have.
And then look, yeah, but what I'm saying is there's always going to be the one. There's always going to be the one GM that caves in.
Do you think that Bryce is a more marketable player than Stanton is? I do.
I think it's tied. I think it's a tie.
Maybe. They're a different type of personality.
I
would say Stanton is a little more like Trout. He's a little quiet. He's a little more well-rounded.
Yeah, he's quiet.
Bryce is going to be arrogant, in-your-face personality.
Right. I mean, we've talked about this before, that MLB does a terrible job in marketing players.
Terrible.
So,
but at least Man Poopies is worrying about all the other shit to change and fuck up our game.
Yeah.
Thanks, Man Poopies. You suck.
Yeah, you can. I love that it always comes back to Manfred. There's nothing.
Man Poopies. Big shithead.
First, you come in here, and you give me Tecate.
A delicious beer from Mexico.
It's disgusting.
Thanks. Honey,
I just spent a few days in Cancun. Strong flex. Listen. I don't like Corona. Out of the shitty beers, there's 2 beers I'm cool with. One is Corona. One is PBR. You've seen me drink the PBRs pregame.
Yes. Good price at Dugout.
Good price at the Dugout.
Love the Dugout.
Not a completely disgusting beer. So I can go cheap, but it also doesn't make me want to vomit out of my asshole. Mm-hmm. Now, Mexican beers, they're solid for like a hot environment, a refreshing taste. And you know why that is? It's water. You know what else is really refreshing in the heat? Water. It's delicious in the heat.
First off, Seoul and Victoria are delicious.
No, they're not.
They're delicious. This is also Tecate is Man Poopy's favorite beer. This is what he drinks.
I actually don't know if you're kidding or not.
I don't know either.
Okay. I wouldn't. I mean, I'd actually peg him for something worse. I feel like he'd be like a Natty Light drinker.
Please, he probably drinks spiked seltzer.
There's no laws when you're wearing claws. I'll tell you this. People who drink, I should say, guys who drink spiked seltzer. Wow, I fucked up that sentence real bad. Guys who drink spiked seltzer also probably thought that male rompers were cool. That's how I feel about that. Because there's no other excuse. Right. You're a
I also find it funny when a 30-year-old man takes a mirror selfie.
That's rough. Yeah, like MySpace hasn't been a thing in ages. Like no
when I was 15 years old.
Yeah, and I
with
still
the
regret
original Razor flip phone. Nowadays, don't fucking do it.
Worst phone ever.
It was fucking awful. They broke every time you just put them down on the table. They just broke.
Yeah, it's like the phones were suicidal and just killed themselves.
I also had the chocolate.
Oh, I didn't have that. I had the Samsung Rant.
Okay.
It was a phone that like it didn't flip. You would like it had the buttons on the front. Right. But what you could do is you could turn it sideways and slide it up to make the keyboard underneath. That was for its time, like 2009, 2010. Yeah. That was a dope phone. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I would never go back to it.
Chocolate was like that too. It could slide up.
Oh,
so you can make calls, or you can flip it like that.
Gotcha. And then everyone had sidekicks.
Yep.
Everyone had sidekicks.
Yep.
And I thought they were stupid, but not as stupid as Tecate. Okay. Because it's trash. And I know I'm a beer snob. You don't have to tell me. I know I'm a beer snob. Give me a good IPA. I read something once that IPAs are pumpkin spice for guys. I couldn't feel more attacked yet confirmed at the same time. Let's move on, shall we? I think we've yelled at each other enough. Move on to something that we probably agree on more than anything.
We gotta wrap it up pretty soon.
Do we have to wrap it up pretty soon? 10 minutes. All right, perfect. We can do that in 10 minutes.
Cool.
Spike Lee.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We're going to cross over into... Well, we've already crossed over into crocodile moats, honking hooters.
That was the biggest waste of time we've ever done on this show.
No, I think it was great. So Spike Lee had an issue where he tried to use an entrance that is specifically for media into Madison Square Garden, and it erupted into this whole thing. It kind of reminded me of the Oakley situation. Yeah, a little bit. What are your thoughts on this?
I think they both look kind of bad. I think that there was a huge issue in communication, probably. I think maybe Spike didn't get the memo that he wasn't supposed to do that anymore. It seems like he'd been doing it for a while, so maybe they didn't reach out to him appropriately. But he's also handled it poorly, as you stated before the show. He's not media. He's a celebrity and should be using the celebrity entrance, which they have stated. But he also stated that when he went to his normal entrance that he has always done, the security guards who he's known for over 20 years or whatever, they scanned his ticket like there was no big deal. He said that he was removed from the elevator and told that he was in trouble for doing that, with other people who weren't getting in trouble for doing that. So
he scanned his ticket?
He scanned his ticket to go in the entrance, then got on the elevator from whichever entrance he went in, and then as he got off the elevator to go to his seat, he was removed by security on that floor and went and talked to Dolan or something. And or they had some picture taken of him shaking Dolan's hand by his seat that was taken from the scoreboard. So Spike Lee, as he told it on the Michael K show, is that this whole thing was set up so they can make it look like he agreed that he did something wrong and that Dolan actually never did come and apologize or explain what was going on to him. So in my opinion, I think they both kind of just look bad and it's overblown a bit.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So Spike Lee tries to use this entrance, and he's done it before. Right. Now, the Madison Square Garden has decided, look, we're not doing that anymore. If you're not media, you're not using this entrance. So Spike Lee tries to. That's fine. He's done it before. He gets into an argument. Honestly, that's fine. Like, the fact that he's upset about it, You can be upset about that. I see no big deal. That part doesn't make him a dick. What now makes him a dick is that you go beyond an argument and now you make it this massive issue. And then, of course, the Knicks can't just leave it be because the Knicks could have come away from this looking okay. They could have been like, they could have released a statement that said, yep, there was a miscommunication, a disagreement on the entrance that Mr. Lee was able to use. He became extremely irate. We had to remove him. We have no ill will towards him. It's just, this is an unacceptable way of acting. And then the Knicks actually kind of would look okay. But no, James Dolan wouldn't know a high road if it jumped up its butt and started dancing to mariachi music. This guy has a scathing thing to say about him. It's just like the Oakley situation. Yeah. Or it's like when that fan reached out to him and told him he's probably an alcoholic.
Right. The exact words in the press release were, "It is laughable that Spike Lee thinks he's the victim in this situation."
It's laughable that you own a basketball team, dude.
Yeah.
That's what's laughable. It's laughable that nobody's shoved their foot up your behind.
No, and it was funny too because on the Michael K show he was talking with Don and he was like, "Well, I'm not going to go back to the Knicks arena at all this year. I'm not going to see any of the Knicks game." And Don was like, "Well, isn't the 50th anniversary something coming up?" And Spike Lee just paused and was like, "Oh, okay, I might go to that." Really? So then you really don't care that much? It was something like that. You could tell he was I'm probably going to go there.
Listen, we're going to leave this show on this last note, okay? And Spike, I want you to listen. You can DM me on Twitter. We'll talk about this. But you stop going to games. Stop going to games. Stop purchasing tickets because he buys the tickets. It's not like he's some celebrity that shows up.
He spends over $300,000 a year and $10 million in his entire life on Knicks tickets.
Stop.
They came out with those numbers yesterday on one of the shows.
Spike. Again, I said, we'll talk about this. DM me on Twitter at CJ and Pinstripes. You could DM him too, but whatever. He's not as fun.
At Evan D. Wetzel 4.
So I think that...
Can you not do that on the show? We're literally filming. We almost finished the show without your nonsense. God damn it. This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. I'm done.